centuries later. The story you know was not passed down intact, it was edited. The story you know was not passed down intact, it was edited, not by mistake, but by necessity. From the beginning, there were texts that could not survive because they did not teach obedience, but awakening. They spoke of an inner kingdom, of a divinity without temples or intermediaries, and that made them dangerous. In those writings, Jesus was not a distant figure. He laughed, doubted, walked among a few, and asked for silence, not worship. He said the truth was not in the heavens, but within the human being. A message like that could serve no empire. The most feared text carried the name of Judas. There was no betrayal in it, only obedience. Someone had to carry the hatred so the story could function. If that gospel were revealed, the cross would lose its mystery, and faith would lose its most powerful weapon, guilt. Another writing spoke of a woman whose voice was erased, not as a sinner, but as the disciple who understood what others could not. Her knowledge united body and spirit, equality and freedom. That is why her name was stained and her message buried. A woman holding truth was an intolerable threat. Banning the texts was not enough. They were hunted, burned, traced. Libraries turned to ash, and those who knew too much learned to remain silent. God was not being protected, only a convenient version of him. Centuries later, in a desert cave, a monk found what was never meant to exist. Reading it, he understood that those writings did not destroy faith, but the fear that sustained it. He could not save them all. Some he burned, others he buried, knowing that truth does not die, it waits. Today, only fragments remain. Broken ideas. Whispers. They promise neither heaven nor punishment, but something far more dangerous, freedom. And perhaps that is why the forbidden gospels never fully disappeared. They were never meant to be worshipped, only remembered by those brave enough to read between the lines. Before she became a monster, Medusa was a woman. In ancient Greece, when gods walked among mortals and divine decisions shaped human destiny, Medusa was known for her extraordinary beauty. Her hair shone like gold in the sunlight, and her presence inspired admiration, not fear. She was a young priestess in the temple of Athena, goddess of wisdom and justice, bound by a vow of purity and devotion. But the gods did not always protect the innocent. Poseidon, god of the sea, desired Medusa. One night, inside Athena's sacred temple, he violated her. The crime took place where holiness should have guaranteed safety. When Athena discovered what had happened, her anger did not fall upon the god who committed the act, but upon the mortal woman who had no power to resist. Whether from pride, rage, or divine cruelty, Athena chose punishment over mercy. Medusa was transformed. Her beautiful hair twisted into living serpents, hissing and writhing without rest. Her skin turned pale and cold, and her eyes were cursed with a terrible power. Anyone who looked directly at her would be turned to stone. Cast out and condemned, Medusa was exiled to the edge of the world. There, she lived alone among ruins and shadows, surrounded by stone figures of men and beasts who had crossed her path. They were not trophies of violence, but silent graves, victims of a curse she never chose. Over time, the world forgot the woman and remembered only the monster. Heroes spoke of her danger, not her suffering. When Perseus arrived, sent by the gods, he did not see the broken priestess beneath the serpents. Using the reflection of his shield to avoid her gaze, he struck while she slept and cut off her head. From Medusa's blood sprang Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, proof that even from injustice, something divine could be born. Her severed head, still powerful, was used as a weapon by Athena herself. Thus, Medusa passed into legend as a creature of terror. But those who know the truth understand this.
The forest knows you are here. I didn't come to hurt anyone. That is what they all say. You must be cautious. I sense great power in this meat.
You walk on living ground.
We are not separate from this world.
Weapons hot, eyes open. This planet is watching us. Sir, the ground is glowing. You walk on living ground, metal beings. We're not here to fight. Captain, they're everywhere. Your fear shines louder than your weapons. This planet reacts like a nervous system. Then we're cutting deep. The Sky Invaders do not listen. Then the world must answer. I was trained to destroy, not to feel this. Now you hear the planet breathe. Command orders full strike. There are villages out there! Defend the heart! They're everywhere!
You have killed a memory older than your stars.
Call it off. We finished the mission. I choose life.
The Cyclops is the giant with a single eye. A colossal creature born from ancient myth, brute force, and isolation. Legends describe it as an enormous being with one gigantic eye in the center of its forehead, an eye that watches without mercy and never sleeps. Its body appears to be made of living stone, muscles hardened by endless labor and survival. The Cyclops lives apart from the world of men, dwelling in caves and desolate lands. It does not farm. It does not build cities. It hunts. It survives. It endures. Feared by humans and gods alike, the Cyclops represents power without law, strength without civilization. Yet it is not a mindless beast. It knows fire. It forges, remembers. In ancient times, the Cyclops was both monster and craftsman, creator of legendary weapons, master of iron and thunder. Its single eye symbolizes brutal focus, seeing only what stands before it, prey, threat, or challenge. The Cyclops is not evil by nature. It is ancient, it is alone, and it is unstoppable.
Saving your friend in a zombie apocalypse during a journey through the pyramids of Egypt. The scorching sun hangs over the pyramids of Giza as your journey turns into a nightmare. What was once a place of wonder becomes a battlefield when the dead rise from ancient tombs. Mummified zombies, wrapped in torn linen and covered in sand, emerge from hidden chambers beneath the pyramids. Your friend is separated from you inside a collapsing passageway beneath the Great Pyramid. Their voice crackles through the radio, filled with fear. You rush through narrow corridors lined with hieroglyphs, using torches and flares to light your way as shadows move along the walls. Zombies pour from secret tunnels. You push fallen stone blocks, slide down sand-covered ramps, and seal doors just long enough to survive. Deep inside the pyramid, you find your friend trapped near an open sarcophagus as the ceiling begins to collapse. You pull them free and run. Stone crashes behind you, burying the undead in dust and darkness. Together, you escape into the open desert as night falls. Under the moonlight, the pyramid stands silent, ancient witnesses to yet another apocalypse. You survived because you never left your friend behind.
The world did not sleep last night. It feels pain. Anger. Sir, the terrain is reacting to us. Ignore it. Keep moving.
When the ground glows red, the world is warning us.
Increase extraction speed. The planet doesn't like this.
It's responding.
Is this the planet doing this?
No, this is the planet waking up.
A guardian has risen. That thing wasn't on the scans! Target it.
Do not fire.
If we shoot, we start a war. Then we finish it fast.
You were warned.
Long before humanity, before even the first upright hominids walked the Earth, this planet was home to a non-human civilization, Atlantis. Its inhabitants were not human. They were reptilian humanoids, genetically advanced beings descended from an intelligence that arrived from the cosmos in a forgotten age. They did not conquer Earth, they selected it. Their biology was engineered for a young, unstable planet rich in geothermal and cosmic energy. Atlantis was not primitive. It was futuristic even by modern standards. Its cities floated partially above the ocean, held in place by planetary energy fields drawn from Earth's core. Towers of organic crystal and living metal rose from massive circular platforms, aligned with stars that no longer occupy the same positions in the sky. The architecture was not built, it grew. The reptilian Atlanteans mastered technology based on resonance, frequency, and consciousness. They did not rely on machines as humans do. They used the planet itself as their power source. Their temples functioned as planetary control nodes, regulating climate, tectonic movement, and oceans. Their greatest mistake was confidence. By manipulating planetary and cosmic forces, they disrupted the balance that sustained them. Earth's core destabilized. Oceans rose. The global energy network collapsed. In a single day and night, Atlantis fell. The island fractured. Cities sank slowly as energy fields failed one by one. Some Atlanteans escaped, some into the deep ocean, others into subterranean sanctuaries, and a few left the planet entirely. When humans emerged millions of years later, they found no visible ruins. Only myths, only serpent gods, only echoes buried beneath the sea. Atlantis was never a myth. It was Earth's first civilization, and its destruction was a warning humanity has yet to understand. Before he became a hero, Hercules was marked by the hatred of the gods. Son of Zeus, king of Olympus, and a mortal woman, he was born with a strength the world was not ready to face. From the moment he was born, his fate was sealed. Hera, consumed by jealousy, tried to kill him by sending 2 giant serpents into his cradle. He did not cry. He looked at them and crushed them with his bare hands. Years later, Hercules grew into an unstoppable warrior, loved by the people and feared by his enemies. But tragedy struck when Hera, in a final act of cruelty, clouded his mind. Driven mad, Hercules committed the greatest sin of his life. He destroyed the ones he loved most. When the madness faded, only silence remained and guilt. Broken and desperate for redemption, Hercules begged for punishment. The gods answered with a sentence: 12 impossible labors, trials no man should survive. He slew the Nemean lion, whose hide could not be pierced. He defeated the Hydra, cutting off heads that grew back stronger. He descended into the underworld and returned alive, dragging the fearsome Cerberus into the light. Every battle bled him. Every victory brought him closer to death and closer to legend. In the end, Hercules was no longer just a man of strength. He became proof that even gods can fall and that humans can rise. When his mortal body finally died, the gates of Olympus opened. Zeus called him home, and the man who suffered like no other ascended as a god. Because Hercules was not great because of his strength. He was great because he fell, paid for his guilt, and never stopped fighting. In an age ruled by corrupt kings and false gods, Elijah appeared without warning, no royal blood, no army at his side. He stood before King Ahab with a voice that burned like fire and spoke an impossible judgment. There will be no rain or dew except at my word. And the sky obeyed, the land cracked, rivers dried. Fear spread through the kingdom. While the people searched for answers, Elijah vanished into the wilderness. There, when food and water no longer existed, God sustained him through ravens, bringing bread and meat day after day. Faith became survival. But the greatest test was yet to come. On Mount Carmel, Elijah stood alone against 450 prophets of Baal. One man versus hundreds. Two altars. Two gods. One eternal question. Who is the true God? The false prophets shouted, danced, and cut themselves, but nothing happened. Silence. Then Elijah rebuilt his altar, soaked it with water, when water was more precious than gold, and prayed once. Fire fell from heaven. Flames consumed the sacrifice, the stones, and even the dust. The people fell to their knees. Power was exposed. Truth was undeniable. Yet even after victory, Elijah faced fear, exhaustion, and despair. He fled, hid in a cave, and asked to die. And there, God did not come in the earthquake, or the wind, or the fire, but in a gentle whisper. Elijah learned that true strength does not always roar. Sometimes, it guides quietly. His story did not end in death. It ended in ascension. A chariot of fire descended from the heavens, and Elijah was taken alive, wrapped in flame and wind, leaving behind a legacy that still burns. Elijah was not just a prophet. He was a warning, a voice against power, a man who walked between heaven and earth, and was claimed by heaven itself.
Two million years from now, Earth is no longer the world we recognize. In scorched deserts, colossal creatures evolved to survive extreme heat and radiation. Above the storms, new Apulate rule the skies, born from wind and lightning. In the darkest oceans, life grew larger, slower, and more ancient than ever before. Now, some species no longer think alone. They think together. This is science fiction. This is fun. Given time holds.
It wasn't the roar of an animal that warned the forest. It was the sound. A deep, unnatural buzzing, low, heavy, mechanical, like the air itself was being torn apart. Scientists detected it first through acoustic sensors. Then the beekeepers found the hives. Silent, torn open, empty. Thousands of bees lay scattered on the ground, decapitated. There was no struggle. It was precise, efficient. The predator descended from the sky. The Asian giant hornet does not attack like other insects. It executes. Its massive orange head houses mandibles that don't sting, they cut. In minutes, a single hornet can erase an entire colony. Not for hunger, for dominance. When the first video surfaced, no one wanted to believe it. The insect was too large, too fast, too perfect. Its wings sounded like engines. Its stinger looked like a living spear. It didn't retreat. It didn't hesitate. It advanced. Bees, the backbone of global pollination, had no defense. And without them, balance collapses. Crops fail. Food chains fracture. Ecosystems unravel. This isn't a movie. This isn't a myth. It's a brutal reminder that nature doesn't need permission to become a threat. And it's already here. The creatures left outside the ark. Before the first rain fell, the world already felt its end approaching. The sky gathered in heavy silence, clouds pressing low over the land, while Noah worked on the ark, guided by a voice older than memory. Animals arrived two by two, lions, birds, cattle, wolves, moving calmly, as if the earth itself was leading them. The ark was not yet a refuge from water, but a boundary between what would be preserved and what would not. From the forgotten edges of creation, other beings appeared. Giants walked from the hills, their footsteps shaking the ground. Hybrid creatures emerged from forests and ruins, forms never meant to endure. They watched the ark with fear and expectation, believing they too belonged among the saved. They were wrong. The ark did not open for them, not because of their shape, but because of their origin. As the rain began, the sky broke open. Water fell in endless sheets, rivers burst their banks, and the world dissolved into motion and sound. Animals outside struggled against the rising flood, while inside the ark, order remained. Wood groaned under the pressure, but it held. Within the ark, common creatures rested, breathing, shifting, surviving. Warm light flickered along wooden walls as the storm raged beyond them. Outside, the rejected ran, flew, roared, and disappeared beneath the rising waters. Some legends say not all of them perished, that a few found caves, depths, or places untouched by the flood. And that is why, even now, humanity tells stories of monsters. Not as myths, but as memories of those who were left behind. The labyrinth breathed. Every stone wall sweated fear, every corridor seemed to shift and change. No one entered without losing something or losing everything. At the heart of Crete, beneath the palace of King Minos, lived the Minotaur. Half man, half beast. A monster born from the punishment of the gods and fed with the blood of the innocent. Its breathing was deep and heavy, like a war drum echoing through the darkness. Its horns bore the scars of countless battles. Its eyes burned with eternal hunger. Each year, young lives were cast into the labyrinth as tribute. None returned, until Theseus arrived. He did not enter as a victim, but as a hunter, son of a king, yet armed only with a sword, courage, and a vow to end the terror. Ariadne, bound by her father's fate, gave him the thread. It was not merely a path to escape, it was an act of defiance against fear. Theseus tied it to his wrist and descended. Darkness swallowed him. Endless corridors. Silence broken only by distant dripping. And then the sound. A heavy, another, hoof striking stone. The Minotaur knew it was not alone. When they met, the air itself trembled. The beast roared, a sound torn from the depths of hell. Theseus felt the creature's weight, pure strength, mindless fury, centuries of confinement turned into violence. The battle was brutal. The Minotaur attacked like a storm, charging, shattering walls, trying to crush the intruder. Theseus moved on instinct, rolling through shadows, feeling the wind of the horns pass inches from his chest. One mistake meant death. Steel struck flesh and bone. Dark blood spilled across the stone. But the monster did not fall. In a brief moment of stillness, Theseus saw more than rage in the beast's eyes. He saw pain. He saw loneliness. A life condemned from birth. He did not hesitate. With a final cry, he drove the blade into the Minotaur's heart. The last roar shook the labyrinth. The beast collapsed, and with it, the fear that had ruled Crete for generations. Theseus stood alone, breathing amid ruins and blood. He was not merely a victor. He was a symbol. For thousands of years, humanity has looked to the sky searching for answers. But the sky did not fall silent out of absence. It fell silent out of disappointment. When the gods first descended, they did not come as conquerors. They came as teachers. In Sumer, they taught humanity to read the stars. In Egypt, they taught stone to defy time. In Mesopotamia, they gave writing so memory would survive death. They did not ask for worship. They asked for balance. But humanity learned quickly, and forgot even faster. Knowledge became power. Power became control. And control became greed. Kings spoke with the voices of gods to rule. Priests sold the heavens for gold. Wars were fought in divine names the gods had never spoken. The gods watched in silence. They saw temples built not to honor, but to dominate. They saw sacrifices offered not from necessity, but from fear. They saw sacred knowledge used to enslave one human by another. And then came the final betrayal. Humanity tried to possess what was never meant to be owned. Immortality without responsibility. Weapons without wisdom. Power without limits. The gods were summoned, not to learn, but to obey. That day, the sky did not answer with fire. It answered with withdrawal. The gods did not die. They were not defeated. They simply left. They sealed their gates. They dimmed their voices. They left behind fragments, symbols, ruins, myths, and distorted memories. Not as punishment, but as a warning. For they understood something terrible. Humanity was not ready to be guided, only to command. And so the sky has remained silent. Not because it is empty, but because it is watching from afar. Waiting for the day humanity looks upward, not to ask for power, but to ask for forgiveness. Las criaturas que no entraron al arca. Cuando el cielo aún no había llorado su primer diluvio, el mundo ya temblaba. Las nubes se reunían como ejércitos y la tierra sentía que algo definitivo estaba por ocurrir. Noé construía el arca en silencio, siguiendo una voz que no pertenecía a este mundo. A su alrededor, los animales llegaban en pares, obedientes, guiados por un instinto antiguo. Pero no todos fueron llamados. Desde los rincones olvidados de la creación comenzaron a aparecer otras criaturas. Los rechazados. Primero llegaron los Nefilim, gigantes de sangre mezclada, hijos de dioses antiguos y humanos. Su sombra cubría la tierra. Intentaron subir al arca, convencidos de que también eran parte de la creación. Pero el arca no se movió. La madera crujió y permaneció cerrada. Luego surgieron las quimeras, cuerpos de león, serpiente y ave, rugiendo de miedo más que de furia. Suplicaron con ojos que nunca habían conocido la compasión. El viento respondió por Noé, no había lugar para ellas. De los bosques emergieron los hombres bestia, licántropos, sátiros, criaturas nacidas del caos y la avaricia humana. Ellos no fueron creados para preservar la vida, sino para deformarla. En los cielos, los dragones antiguos giraban en círculos, sabios y terribles. Uno descendió, su voz como trueno. ¿También nosotros seremos olvidados? La respuesta fue el silencio. La razón del rechazo. No fue por su forma, fue por su origen. Estas criaturas no nacieron del equilibrio, sino del abuso del conocimiento, de pactos rotos, de la soberbia de dioses menores y humanos que jugaron a crear vida. El arca no era un refugio para todo lo que existía, sino para aquello que podía empezar de nuevo. El diluvio. Cuando cayó la primera gota, el mundo gritó. Las criaturas rechazadas lucharon, volaron, rugieron, treparon por montañas que pronto desaparecieron bajo el agua. Algunas intentaron romper el arca. Otras aceptaron su destino. Dicen que algunas no murieron. Que se ocultaron bajo el mar, en cavernas imposibles, o en dimensiones donde el agua no alcanza. El legado. Por eso, aún hoy, la humanidad habla de monstruos. No como mitos, sino como recuerdos distorsionados. Porque no todas las criaturas del mundo se ahogaron. Algunas simplemente fueron dejadas atrás.